Hello, and in this video we're going to be making a cool display with P5.js. It's something that I've seen before with using a JavaScript library, but this time I'm going to try to make it without using a library, so we'll get started. We'll just make a full screen canvas. And then we're going to need to set the color mode to HSB. Oh. And that'll be important for later when we're making the visual. Okay. So we'll make a new file called particles, and then in here we need a particle controller, and we need a particle itself. And then we'll add it to the HTML. And then inside the sketch we'll just add it. And our particle controller needs an array with all of its particles. And then for now we'll just we'll add the empty functions. So we need an update. We need I think we just need an update, so that's it for now. But then for our particles we need a show method, and we'll just get started by adding some stuff to the particle. So it's going to have a position. It's not vertex. For now we're just going to say to the middle of the screen. Then it needs a velocity, which would be 0, 0 right now. And then just to test it, we'll have just a basic circle for now. Just so it's visible. Stroke. And then since we have it in HSB, it's a different format. I'll create a point at this dot pos.x. And then this one needs a update function too. So inside the update function for this, I'm going to say for var I equals, actually, there. For all of the particles, we're going to say particle equals the current particle. Then we're going to say particle dot update and particle dot show. So now we'll go back to the sketch and we'll say oh, and then sorry, we're going to need to create particles. So for now we're just going to say so we're just going to pass an amount of particles we want, and then it's going to, and we're going to need to push a new particle to the particles. Actually, let's just give it a random position. And if we go here, we're going to say particle controller there. And then we'll make, for now, let's just make 10 particles. And then in here, oh gosh, I've been forgetting. Here we're going to say particle controller dot update. And so we'll have some random dots everywhere, which is good. So now we can get, we might want something like 75 of them. And we're going to make them smaller. 2 maybe. And then we're going to give it a random vector or velocity. And for our update, we're going to say this dot pause dot add this dot vel. So it's going to add to the velocity, or add to the position, so they should be moving. Okay, cool. So we have our particles and they're moving, but they're going off screen. So now we're going to need a check for that. So we're going to make a function for particle. I don't know how I want to do this, but we're just going to say I'll try that. So I'm going to say if this dot pause dot x is greater than, or is less than 0, we're going to say this dot pause dot x equals width. Then if this dot pos dot x is greater than with this dot pos dot x equals 0. And we're going to do the same exact thing for our y. So we just need to change this to height too. And we'll see if this works. Okay. We're just need, I can't really tell if it works right now, so we're just going to need to make one and make it big. Because there's a lot going on. So that should pop off the top. Okay, cool. So we'll set it back to normal. Maybe we'll do 100. And we have 100 little dots. And we're going to need to try to make these white. This isn't 360, is it? Okay. So now we got our dots that are moving. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect a line to any of the dots that are in a certain range. So we're going to make a variable called this dot. We're going to set that to 100. So 100 pixels is the range that we want it to be in to create a line. So we're going to need to make a function called, let's do it after this dot. And then in that, we're going to create a line if it's in a certain radius or range. And for this function, we need to never mind, sorry. Set the particles to particle controller dot particles. So that's going to access all of the particles of the controller. And then we're going to say for particles, okay, so, and then, okay, so then we're going to need to make a variable for distance. This equals the distance between this dot pos dot x. So this is basically checking the distance between two two xy positions we give it. So, and then we're going to need particle dot pos dot x. And if the d, or the distance, is less than the range, we're going to create a line. So we'll mess around with the stroke weight later, but for now we're just going to say 1 and stroke equals that, and I need to draw the line. Okay, so this is what we want. It's creating a line if it's close to the particles, and next we're going to want to make the stroke weight different depending on how close it is. So we're going to map a value, and it's going to be d for the distance. It's going to be between 0 and the start range. And we want that to be between, we'll say, so when the value is 0, we want it to be a thicker line, so we'll say 5 to 0. So we should get some variance. So the closer it is, the thicker the line. But I think 5 might be a bit too big, so we'll say 3. Okay, that's looking better. And then next, our stroke is going to be dependent on where it is. So we're going to say map we're going to map the position, the x position, and it's going to be between 0 and width, and that's going to be a number between 0 and 360. So it should give us a color variance. So that's about it. It's a pretty cool project that you can make. I really like doing this because it gives a cool effect. We can speed the particles up. You can do a lot of things, but we'll just do that real quick. That's a bit fast. Step 2. There, so we get a bit faster. But you can do a lot more with this. I just really enjoy this project, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.